There was a big
Oh,
boom in OpenClaw over in China. I thought this was just a thing that I saw over on Reddit, people posting pictures of OpenClaw meetups. Here's a screen, an image, Jason, of one of those meetups. In case you were curious what that looks like, here are people outside in Shenzhen teaching each other how to set up OpenClaw. You can even see OpenClaw right over there in English. I thought it was kind of crazy. This is so cool. People are really getting into it. It turns out also there are certain governments inside of China that are setting up incentive structures to get more people to use OpenClaw. All of that to one side. Over here in the US, there's a new poll that came out that showed that AI here in the States is incredibly unpopular. So we get kind of a split screen here between people in China, even older folks, really diving into OpenClaw, and here in the States, poll numbers that are pretty terrible. According to the NBC poll, Jason, 26% of people in the US are pro AI and 46% are opposed to it for a negative 20% differential. I was surprised by this.
the claw thing is happening all over America. And it's open source. And what's great about open source is when something trends, everybody embraces it. We've never seen a project get embraced as quickly, as violently, as lovingly as OpenClaw. It's number one on GitHub. It has the largest number of stars. Why is that happening? I would say it's two reasons. First and foremost, people are getting value from it. Second, it's inspiring for people because if they're starting a company or running a business or they want to stand out at work, they can use this tool to be a better performer. So high performers are drawn to this. And there are tons of high performers around the world. Obviously, in China, you've got a lot of aspirational people. If you're aspirational, you're pulled to this. Now, there are normies, there are citizens, there are human beings who might not be looking to make a career and they might not live to work. They may work to have a great life, and there's nothing wrong with that. So you're not seeing like these OpenClaw things happening in France. I don't think like people are like, you know what? Instead of going to the bistro tonight, I'm going to go do a Claude meetup. Maybe they are. Who knows? I don't need to give a hard time to the French.
March 19th, OpenClaw meetup Paris. It's at 5B Rue de Beauce, which is French, apparently.
We'll see if like 6 people show up or whatever. But anyway, the second piece to this does dovetail with it nicely, which is people in China feel like AI is going to make their lives better. Yes. They've recently seen their lives get better. They have an immediate history that they can look back on and say, hey, for 20 or 30 years, we've watched people go from living on a farm without running water or sharing a cold spigot between 3 or 4 people. This is literally reality, in China. No electricity or limited electricity in the village, to working in a factory, living in a dormitory. The dormitory has, air conditioning or heat. They have some spending money. They can go to a bar. They can go, have lunch somewhere. They can start to build a life for themselves, eventually get an apartment. So they've seen this. So they're excited about the future. Now you go compare that to America. People have for the last 2 generations said, I've gotten 400K in debt, 200K in debt with my degree, et cetera. And since I'm in debt, then I can't buy a home. And if I can't buy a home and my job out of school is paying me 50 grand a year and I'm 250K in debt, I'll never get out from under. So there is like a resentment that's brewed over 20 or 30 years. And if you pull up the chart of what people don't trust in America, it has gotten really acute for a couple of groups of people. Obviously, the government, obviously, journalism and media. Both parties seem to have had their reputations just become completely untrustworthy, and obviously AI. It's easier than ever to build a great new product, and launching a startup, even as a solopreneur, is getting easier and easier. But as my experienced founders already know, there's a lot more to starting a company than just putting up a website or even building a product. If you're serious about going into business, you need a Delaware C Corp. That's going to give you a serious leg up on your competition, and you can be taken seriously by investors. That's where Northwest Registered Agent comes in. Just a few clicks, they're going to give you the perfect start to your new enterprise. A real identity, a domain, a custom website, a business email, all the public filings done, and even a phone number. And you'll complete this process in under 10 minutes. Plus, you're going to get all sorts of free tools and resources, from step-to-step guides, compliance reminders, and an online account that's going to keep everything organized, even as your business grows. So get all the advantages of a Delaware C Corp, regardless of where in the US you're operating out of. NorthwestRegisteredAgent.com/twist.